Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Loading Time podcast. My name is Elijah and I'm joined by Chocolate Sean.
Chocolate. Sweet like. Yeah, it's me.
Sweet like chocolate. What are you gonna
amount
say?
of trouble I get into for using that
gosh.
name. I'm I called myself that name, so it's fine.
It's alright, bro. It's all good.
It's okay.
It's just us two today.
Yep. The other people were indisposed.
And clashes and all of that, but it's all good, so good. Yes, so find us on YouTube and Spotify at Loading Time Podcast.
No matter what they tell you.
I know, right?
They might tell you differently, but they're lying. Or...
Oh my god. Here for all the best gaming, anime, superhero movies, basically geek culture.
Yeah. There's quite a lot been happening in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff to come. We're going to try and get through everything in the time we have. We'll start off with the Marvel stuff because it's always fun.
Yeah, why not?
Yep. Ant-Man 3 trailer. Did you see it?
I did see it.
Do you care?
Surprisingly, not that much. I think it's because I didn't. So, it might be an unpopular opinion. I liked Ant-Man 1. I enjoyed it.
Okay, well, you're right. It is unpopular.
Yeah, very unpopular. I think
Actually, to be
okay.
fair, it's not. I think quite a lot of people did like it.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I just didn't like it.
What do you like about it?
It was just... I felt it was kind of like... I felt the story was quite weak. I didn't care about the villain. I didn't care about much of the characters either. But like people tend to say like, oh, whenever I go to them and go like, oh, I don't like Ant-Man, they always say, oh, I liked it. I like Paul Rudd. That's what everybody says. Like literally every time I talk about this movie, everyone always says they like Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's great. I like Paul Rudd too. Doesn't make the movie any good though.
It's funny. I like it.
I just found it very... I think something I struggle with about Marvel movies is when they're... I mean, to be fair, it didn't do what Thor 3 did. No, right, Thor 4 did. When literally just stuffing like humor down your throat. It wasn't anywhere that bad. The humor felt a lot more natural in Ant-Man 3 than it did in Thor 4. Because Thor 4's humor didn't make any fucking sense to me. I was like, this is too much. You guys need to chill.
It's a bit weird.
It was too much. It was like, it just basically pulled down a lot of like high tense moments. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Thor.
Yeah. Ant-Man.
Yeah. So I saw the new trailer and I was kind of like underwhelmed, if I'm honest. Like, I don't know if it's like fatigue, from... But then I say that, but I saw the Black Panther trailer and I was like,
First
let's
trailer,
go. Yeah, I was like, let's go.
Really good.
But I guess also because it's like, there's a lot of stuff linked into that Black Panther trailer, like with Namor, the mutants, and obviously with Shuri and stuff being the new Black Panther. Whereas in the Ant-Man 3 trailer, I'm like, okay, the Quantum Zone. I don't really know anything about the Quantum Zone personally.
Neither do I.
I don't know anything about the Quantum Zone. I'm still a bit like annoyed that they get shrunk and be that small and they can breathe. I'm like, why can you breathe down here? Like, I feel like that pissed me about the second movie because I was like, are you telling me this woman just got shrunk to this place and she's been there for X amount of years, right? No oxygen, no food. How's she gonna survive? What's going on?
Then again, that man did the same thing. Remember when he was locked?
Yeah, but it was only there for like a couple of seconds.
Was he?
Well, which part? You mean the...
at the end of Ant-Man 2 when
right.
Goes into
that one, I don't actually know. You're right. That
and
one
then
I don't know.
and then a rat.
Yeah. So I don't know how long he was in there for. I just don't know if he was in the Quantum Zone or if he was just... But then we might know, because you make a good point, actually. Was he in the Quantum Zone? Probably not.
No.
Because... Oh, wait. No, he was, because he was collecting that shit, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he got trapped and then he got released.
Yeah.
After No, it was before the snap because a rat randomly just...
Yeah, he got released.
Yeah.
No, after the snap he got released.
No. It wasn't after... Definitely wasn't after the snap because he had to go... they were looking back at time travel to try and go back to...
Yeah, but he goes into the thing before the snap, right? And he comes out after the snap.
No, it comes out during the snap, doesn't he?
No, because his daughter's like so much older.
That's because his daughter wasn't snapped.
No. As in, like, he's been gone for years.
Yes. No, I see you mean. No, I didn't mean... No, you're right. He came after the snap. I mean, before they reversed the...
Yeah,
that's what I meant. Sorry.
Because I guess also time flows differently there as well.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know he'd been gone for that many years.
Yeah.
But the wife of what's his name? The original Ant-Man. His dad. I can't remember his name now. Names. Anyway, like his wife knew that she was gone for years. Like she'd actually aged and everything, so she knew she was gone for a while. but there was no explanation in the second one as to like how she survives there, like, you know, what she ate, nothing, right? And then so that pissed me off about that movie because I was like, she's been there for fuck ages. How does she survive? How are they taking off their helmets and breathing? Like the air molecules would be like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, we don't watch Marvel for realism. So
well, we don't. But if for example someone fell into like water and then just started like, and it was there for 6 hours and it came out and it was fine, you'd be like, what the fuck?
I mean,
explain it. At least explain it. Just explain it.
I remember when someone said in the chat that Tekken is like the accurate representation of martial arts, and people were like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Don't say
they
that.
got fucking devils and grizzly bears and pandas.
And lightning pops up when they punch each other.
Electric godfist.
Yeah, you know. Nah. So I guess this one might explain why a little bit as to why they won, why they can survive down there, and that. Okay, fine. It's like, okay, they can survive because there's another city there. Fair enough. They may not explain why they can breathe, but
we'll see. I'm just interested in Kang.
Yeah, that's the only thing I care about.
What version of Kang it is.
Yeah, I assume it's the bad one, right?
I mean,
I assume
technically they're all bad, right?
Well, the one we saw in Loki wasn't bad. He was just trying to keep the bad one away.
Yeah.
So I guess he's bad if you think like he's doing crap stuff because he's trying to keep the bad one away.
Yeah, I know that he's at least bad basically. If you think I'm bad, then wait till you see
yeah,
sort of thing. But that'll be interesting because it seems like the next phase is kind of centered around him and what he does. So.
Who, Kang? You mean?
Yeah. Kang. The next Avengers film is a Kang Dynasty.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Okay,
I haven't. Okay, cool. Yeah. So maybe what's his face will die. Maybe Paul Rudd will die or something.
No, they're not gonna kill off.
Because
they haven't killed off any of them.
But they get rid of them eventually. Yeah. They don't kill them, but you know what I mean.
Okay,
like,
I see. Just
they sort of like go, okay, your contract is over. We need to replace you with somebody else because his daughter was wearing the suit.
Yeah, so I guess it's just the next generation of Avengers.
Yeah,
new Avengers. Yeah, they need to. Yeah. He'll probably retire or something.
Yeah. Something will happen to him. Yeah. I assume because I don't know because they generally can't be superheroes forever, right? And we assume that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to keep going until they start running out of money.
They're gonna stop sometime because they're gonna run out of content. Everything is based on,
they can just like
all of this.
I mean, they will eventually run out of content, but it will take.
No, they're not gonna. Let me say that again. They're not gonna create new content for the MCU.
Right.
Like for example, this next phase of the MCU is gonna be based on new content that's never before seen. Everything that's been done. Yeah. So there's only so many massive multi.
They run out. Yeah. They
They've
run out of.
How many have they got? The big ones, Infinity War.
They're loads, bro. They're
Secret
loads,
Wars.
but they're loads. There are actually like freaking loads. There's like if you count stuff that like back from when the whole thing started, the really crap artists and stuff. Like the first Secret Wars was really old school. The first initial one, and they revamped it. We have. That's only for even looking at like the Avengers stuff. Yeah. Just like going to X-Men stuff. Look at all the X-Men stuff they have. They have loads.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's cool. If they pivot to the X-Men, and they start the whole MCU based on the X-Men,
they can go Fantastic Four. They can go.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? They have a lot. Like I think it will take them years to get through everything to the point where they're like, oh, we kind of run out of stuff to do now, and then you know what they'll do? Reboot.
Yes, yeah.
They just reboot. It's like,
of course, yeah.
Yeah, because we'll be dead by then. And it's like, hey, your children will be.
Well, they remade Last of Us, and it came out less than 10 years ago. So,
yeah, but look at how many times they remade Batman as well. Batman so many times.
Anyway, man, let's not talk about.
We're getting.
But yeah, I mean, okay. So Ant-Man was there. What else? Black Panther 2 trailer. Second trailer came out, which is nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, you haven't seen that one.
No, because I tend to only watch like the one trailer.
It's coming out in 2 weeks, I think. Now.
Is it?
Is it 11th November? Something like that.
Yeah, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, should be good. Black Adam.
Right. I don't. Okay, it's not like I don't care. I don't care. It's only because like I think I'll watch it eventually in the same way I watched Shazam. One day I was at home. I was bored, and Shazam was just there. And I was like,
did you like Shazam?
No.
Why do people say a lot? Well, it got quite good reviews. Yeah,
it's just very. Were there 2 movies now? Right? No.
No, the second one hasn't come out yet.
Okay, so just the first one. See,
some people said it was a bit childish. like a kid.
It kind of was. I just didn't feel. Again, I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care. It's hard. It's like, when you watch something and it just really like involuntarily just pulls you in to the story. Like you just like you don't know what to expect, right? And you just pulled into the narrative. And you pulled into the what's the word? I forget the word now. But the story just pulls you in anyway. Mm-hmm. And when watching Shazam, I just was like, okay. Like I didn't feel threats. I didn't feel like really anything was really going to go wrong. I didn't feel like there was a struggle. I didn't feel connected to it like at all. And I feel like with Black Adam, it's a similar take on what they're doing with like the JLA stuff. It's the same universe, isn't it? Right?
Same universe as
Justice League stuff, So Flash. Guessing, I'm assuming they're trying to do their own universe thing. But the problem with their stuff is that it's not doesn't gel well together. Yeah. I'm not saying all those movies are bad. Like I like Wonder Woman 1. But some people don't like it, but I thought it was quite enjoyable. The second one fucking sucked. The second one was terrible.
Yeah, that was up there with the worst.
Yeah, terrible.
I've ever watched.
I liked Superman, the first Superman, and then I rewatched it, and then I was like, oh, actually, it's not as good as I thought, but it's still like okay. And then every movie from that point has just been like.
No, like Snyder Cut.
Which one?
Justice League Snyder.
Oh yeah, that one was good.
Too long, but it was good.
It was long, but it was entertaining, and it actually you can actually sort of see elements of that story in the other story. You can see like a slight link to things that have happened, right? In the Snyder Cut, not in the one that was actually released. The one that was actually released is trash. It's so trash. And yeah, I will eventually watch Black Adam. I just don't care. But like, are you looking forward to watching it?
Looking forward is probably not the right word.
Okay.
It'll be interesting because I like The Rock. So
yeah, I like him too.
Interesting to see him in that universe, but
I think the casting's alright for it. I mean, he doesn't look like that in the comics at all. But
yeah, I mean, Dr. Fate seems interesting. I don't know. We'll see.
I just feel like it's one of those things where
just a bit
they've picked characters out. We won't have any like emotional connection to these characters. It just feels like they just dropped you into a world where there's all these heroes, but in everything that we've watched, that's not the case.
Isn't Black Adam a villain anyway?
Black Adam is a villain. He's like an anti-villain. Yeah. Well, depends where you put him, I suppose.
It's called Aquaman and anti. Anyway, Aquaman does some weird stuff. Anyway. That's comics.
Yeah, but yeah, so there's that as well. You guys let us know whether you like Black Adam, whether you think it'll be good. I mean, I'll watch it eventually, but anyway,
I'm looking at the reviews and they've been a bit up and down.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube clip that just said it's fine. Which in my head is like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of superheroes. I'm kind of getting tired of that now.
Well,
I'm not basing superhero movies on how I'll normally rate a movie. I'm basing it on because it's Marvel. Based in the context of Marvel.
Yeah.
It's good because
they've done it well.
Yeah.
They have like a good template that has worked.
If I was to base it like, an actual movie outside of Marvel, I'm like, oh god, no.
No.
That's what I think about when going back to Love and Thunder. I'm thinking that's a really bad movie because if I was to rate it as I would normally rate a movie, I would say this movie's trash.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of go in with like because you're right. You almost can't. I think some of them you could rate as just like a regular movie, but only the really, really good ones. Not. I wouldn't put Infinity War in there. I won't put Endgame in there. I put things like Winter Soldier. Like that is just like a good movie, I think, personally. Most people don't like it, but like a lot of people rate it quite highly because it's just a well-written, like fun story. But with the Marvel stuff, it's different because you kind of have you have a lot of like context for everything that's happening. Like everything happens in the movies, you're looking forward to it's just like you're reading a really big. Watching a really, really, really big series, really long ass episodes. You know what I mean? And I think that plays into it. But with the Black Adam stuff, they have to sort of picture like it's an origin story. An origin story generally not very good, in my opinion. They're just kind of only like Iron Man is a good origin story, but not all of them are very, very good. And the DC current movie DC franchise, in my opinion, aren't. I can't pick one that I really liked other than I haven't said I really liked Wonder Woman. Yes, Snyder Cut I liked. I thought that was good. And I thought Wonder Woman was okay, and I thought Superman 1 was okay.
Suicide Squad.
I didn't like Suicide Squad.
No, the second one?
Yeah, the second one was better than the first one. Definitely. The first one was not good.
Apparently Peacemaker's quite good.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Is it
I mean, it's
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. His name's Peacemaker. Yeah. I mean, he did get a whole series.
Well, I can't watch it. I've never seen it. It's not available in the UK. Well,
oh, is it not
legally?
Oh, is it? Okay.
It was on HBO, but I mean, without so I haven't watched it yet. But I heard got pretty good reviews. I don't know. I think I might watch it in a couple of weeks. I might not.
You can take a look and maybe we'll talk about it. I don't know. I just also one is DC stuff. Even though I really enjoy DC comics, I think DC comics are like really good. But it's just, and also the animations are really good. Like when they do the movies and stuff.
No,
like
I
the
remember
Batman.
they stopped and then they started it again. But I heard it's the last one that came out, Justice. But I heard it wasn't that good.
Is that the one where they all die?
No, the one where Superman turns bad. Basically, it's basically like an inverse of Civil War.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. Okay.
You know when Joker kills Lois Lane?
They have a. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, I haven't seen that one.
And then there's the whole I've read the comics are quite good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because they have good stories.
Yeah.
But it's just their live action counterparts, I think, are quite weak.
Yeah, but the animation tends to be a bit better.
Yeah, better than the Marvel ones. The Marvel ones are bad. The Marvel ones aren't good.
I can't remember good. Yeah,
there aren't any good ones. That's why you can't remember. There aren't any good ones. Okay, let's move on to the Final Fantasy 16 trailer. If no one has seen it, I recommend you go see it because, especially if you're like a Final Fantasy fan, it just like it stirs up emotions. It's good. Like we're talking about. Let's you go first. What do you think about it?
I feel it was different. It was very medieval, very like Elden Ring / Witcher vibes, Game of Thrones when they're talking about the different kingdoms and everything. It's very. They even very not gory, but first time I can't really remember a Final Fantasy game that had blood. Like if they cut someone, the blood just gushes out of them. So it seems realistic in that sense. The graphics are decent.
I mean, the graphics they always look good.
Yeah, especially now
for the key Final Fantasy franchises.
Since 15, it's been quite. 15, 7 remake. You might have talked about 7. Next one's coming out next year. Yeah. So they're doing that simultaneously. Yeah, it's quite interesting actually. They're doing 16. That's coming out summer next year. I think they said summer 2023. Then they've got Crisis Core remake coming out this year. And they've got the next installment of Final Fantasy 7 remake coming out the following year or the year after.
Right.
But in terms of this particular one, I was quite interested to see how it goes. I just hope that the gameplay is good.
Yeah. The gameplay, because obviously you only see flashes of it, it looks good. Mm-hmm. It doesn't... So one thing that I was saying to like Demi before he went out, like I really liked 5 remake. But they had its flaws. Like I feel like the tactical element of playing. You played the original 5
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, like because it's turn based. And there's a little bit of a tactical element in there that doesn't really exist.
Sega hates turn based so much. Man.
Does he? Oh, there's something.
He says it's old fashioned.
No, it's not old fashioned.
He doesn't like.
I disagree. I think I remember him saying this, and I was like, it's not old fashioned. There are loads of games that are still turn based to this day, and they. Fit a particular. I mean, he's just like, it's slow and because it's like it's tactics almost. It's more tactical in my head than like a fast paced one. It's more reactive with the fast paced one. The Final 7 remake. I think we had a chat about it before. I think we talked about it once before, where it was like, I popped Shell. It was a magic shield thing, and I had no idea when it actually stopped being on me. I had no idea how much like defense how much damage it actually reduced. It was just. I popped it and I kind of forgot that I popped it.
You can't see the shell.
You see it on you. You see you cast it, but you don't have like any. Unless you're looking for it outside of like dodging attacks and doing combos and stuff, you don't really know how effective it was at reducing the damage you would have taken. Whereas in the tactical one, the enemy's casting blah, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you do like Shell Raga, whatever the fuck it is. Or Shell Gar, I suppose. And everybody gets the magic defense thing on. And then he casts the spell. And it may have happened before, and he may have like killed a character. And then you put the shell, and they cast it again, and that character lives. And you're like, oh, okay. The feedback is that I did that, and that choice I made stops a character from dying.
Yeah.
But in Remake, you do it. I mean, you don't really know whether... It's effective or not.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
They're moving around and stuff. And
you don't know. And then when it's actually run out, you don't have time to look and check. You don't know how long, because it's like, Shell lasts for like, say, 5 turns or something, right? How long does it last? Maybe like 30 seconds. You know what I mean? Like it's a different
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this game looks like it's going to be action based as well, which I'm not against.
They're not going back to turn based, man.
Probably not.
They only did it for the sake of remake because it was,
Yeah.
It's turn based. I mean, it's action based, but you can slow down time.
Tactically. What on the 7 remake one?
Yeah. 7 remake to do your spells or your specials or stuff like that. They just switched up the character.
Like it looks really good. It gives me the same thing you said. It gives me Elden Ring vibes. It gives me Game of Thrones vibes. One thing I really do like in it as well is the fact that I'm watching the trailer and trying to figure out like which characters are which Acons and stuff, which is fun. And like the way they've done it, it just makes it seem like a versus game, because there's a bit in the clips there where you seem like you're fighting somebody else, and it has 2 big life bars at the top.
Yeah.
And yours is green, enemies is red, and you can see the Acon symbols on them. Yeah. And it's almost like I think I have a feeling that what happens is that when you kill people, you absorb the Acon. I have a feeling that's what it is, because you start I think one of the Acons you have at the start is Phoenix, and the person who has Phoenix is the boy, and I think he probably dies. I think Ifrit probably kills him, and I think the main character absorbs that Acon. And because I saw him switch to something else once, I think he switched to Garuda. Garuda is so you see the girl with the short blonde hair, the bob. She has Garuda, and Garuda is the thing with it's like a wind Acon, and it has the big wings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's like it has like talons and stuff. Because I saw a clip there where he was using Garuda at one point. He did the big spin. Yeah, that was a Garuda Acon. So I have a feeling that when you defeat it's Mega Man. When you defeat an Acon, you get an ability. You can probably like level it up and they can do stuff. So it looks good. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I just hope that it won't be shit. I have to buy a PS5 for it.
No, we'll see. How did you find 15?
I picked it up. I did a tutorial level and I put it down. I feel 2 reasons. One, because I watched Demi play it a bit and I knew what I was going in for. And then I actually played it, and I didn't like the combat system of it. And he didn't also sing its praises as well, so part of me was a bit like, I didn't.
You played all the final chapter where something happened.
Where basically, if you're gonna play this game, this is a spoiler. So just like watching out. It's not a big spoiler, to be honest. Basically, you get separated from your party, and you lose a bunch of your like weapons and stuff, and all you have is this ring, and you have to run through this cave with this like super powerful enemies on there, and basically if you die you have to start again. But apparently it was so hated that they patched it. And they patched that game so much that actually the combat is different now. They can do different things. Like, it's just like, it just doesn't. I don't even think it's a bad game at all. I just don't think that it really. Also, it's a road trip, and it's like, so it's. I prefer. One thing about this one I like as well. I prefer the medieval vibe way more than I prefer the like too futuristic. Because the people that you have guns, and then some guy has a sword and he's bashing you all up. What's going on?
I mean, Final Fantasy. Apart from the RPG versions, there hasn't really been like sorry, not RPG. I mean the MMO versions. There hasn't really been like a medieval set. No, that's not true. 9 was.
9 was big medieval. 6.
6, yeah, 6
was the original one. Well, not the original. Is it the original one? 6.
It's SNES times, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, that's
not true. Because they were called Acons.
Probably 4 or 5 were as well. Because you had the X-Death was 5.
If you count Mystic Quest, that was also.
If
you want to count Mr. Quest,
you guys don't even count Chrono
Trigger. No, I ain't counting Chrono Trigger. Besides, Chrono Trigger. Oh, it is mid. No, well,
yeah, even if swords.
But they jump to the future. They come back to past.
Yeah, medieval. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Medieval times, and then the caveman.
Yeah. So
Chrono Trigger's so cool.
I mean, I'm not gonna have a discussion here. So good. But actually, no other vibe it also gives me. It gives me Final Fantasy Online vibes. Massively.
Yeah, that's
because I don't think you played it, have you?
I've just seen people play it.
Yeah, it has the similar situation where there are lots of different kingdoms, and the kingdoms all have their own like people on their captains or whatever that like they don't have Acons in them, but they just held in high regard. They're like bosses almost, even though you don't fight them, but they're like pretty strong. And there's all this there are factions within those kingdoms that do like dodgy shit and so on and so forth. And they're not called Are they called icons in Final Fantasy Online? I'm not sure now. I'm not sure, but the story about Fantasy Online, basically, they're summons, basically. When they arrive, it's because not everything in Final Fantasy is about crystals. When they arrive, they basically poison, not really poison, but they basically cause people who come in contact with them, apart from the main character, to basically become their thralls. So they completely just brainwash everybody, just by being around them. And it reminds me similar of this. You're giving slight vibes to this because the same icons exist in that. They exist in this.
Yeah.
And there's obviously like a big deal around it. And I feel like the Garuda girl, the bobhead, she may be in the same city as the Odin one. Another one with the long purple sword. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so their kingdom has like 2 icons, maybe. And it's like,
so
you know, it's like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Trying to collect all the icons. Kind of like Attack on Titan when they're trying to
get
shifters in one place.
Yeah, in fact, that's probably good comparison to it as well. It's basically Attack on Titan.
Yeah, let's go invade this place, try to get their Titan shifter, absorb them. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so it looks. I'm excited for it. I just hope that the gameplay is good.
We'll see. We'll wait. I'll wait for it. I don't trust Final Fantasy as much as I trust God of War.
True. I agree.
I'm gonna get that game. That game looks amazing. People have said it looks like you trust them. You trust the fan. The first game was made. Second game,
I agree.
Is more likely to be at least as good as the first.
I agree because Square Enix have burned us quite a few times.
Just depends what they do. Depends on what IP they're focusing on. If it's Final Fantasy, it tends to put a lot of heart and soul into it. Kingdom Heart.
But I also feel like
the things that they publish is different though. They just go. It just depends. Hitman was good though. The thing they published Hitman. Hitman series.
Yeah. Okay. Right. But is it good because it's like the game is so solid? It's a solid game, or is it because the thing about Final Fantasy is like you need a really good story, and you need some decent like gameplay elements and stuff. Because one thing about that I have said this before about JRPGs, which I used to love JRPGs, but now I'm so picky about JRPGs because I feel like they follow a very similar formula, which is basically you have your tsundere character, you have your you have your main character who's a bit like, I don't really know what I'm doing myself, but they have like the clouds basically. You have your Sasuke's, so they all have like a particular sort of like point, and you can almost sort of predict what's going to happen. Like even in Tales of Arise, like I'm playing it and the story, I'm just like, it's fun, but it's very throwaway.
Yeah.
And I want to get the same kind of emotional reaction that I had for like playing Final Fantasy VII. Even though I know if I play Final Fantasy VII today, I may not have that same reaction I had when I played it the first time.
Yeah, because you knew it was going to happen.
Well, no. As in, like, if I never played Final Fantasy VII before, and then I played it now.
No, it had some good. It
has a good twist. I mean, one of your characters dies.
The main twist about Cloud being not, him not being who you think he is, and then you find
out. That's true. They had quite a lot of different weird twists, which I don't know. I haven't played a lot of JRPGs in a while, but it's like bloody Star Ocean's coming out. And part of me is like, I don't know if I'm going to play that.
Wasn't it the one with the really bad graphics?
They made it slightly better now. But everybody just looks really wet.
Everyone you see Street Fighter 5, you see Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8.
But this is the same company. Square Enix is that's what I'm saying.
But this goes back to my point. It depends on the IP that they use.
But they will never, unless it's like a sub game. Like 557 has so many different versions of 557, like Crisis Core, like you were saying, all these other ones and stuff.
Yeah.
Where they don't pour as much resources into it as like a big Final Fantasy IP where they just fucking all their money, just 10 years development, fucking sick graphics, and maybe okay gameplay, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, with 7 they knew they had to make that proper. At least that first one, the remake, is one of the best I played.
Yeah,
I don't know what they'll do with the rest of them because the story's going in an entirely different direction.
Yeah. It makes me sort of slightly unlikely. I'm not sure if I want to play it now, the next one, because I'm not sure about where the story's going. Like, I feel like they're undoing a lot of things that made Final Fantasy VII great.
Yeah, this is another thing about if you haven't played Final Fantasy before and you play Remake, you'll like it. But if you played Final Fantasy originally, you're going to have reservations about what they're going to do.
Yes.
Because I didn't play it before I played it. Before I played the remakes, I didn't care. So when I thought, I was like, this is really, really good. But then when I saw people talking about it and how the whole spirit of Final Fantasy and everything, they were quite offended.
Yeah.
They went the way they did.
I mean, I'm not offended.
Offended, but they were quite.
No, but some people probably were offended.
Yeah, to the point where they said that the original people that started the whole Final Fantasy series, they would be totally against the current trajectory of how Final Fantasy
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, we're not them, so what can you say?
Yeah, because it's like a totally opposite. Because if, based on the things that the originals crew said about Final Fantasy and then being like a standalone thing, they didn't really believe in sequels, they didn't believe in combining worlds, things that they've broken.
I see.
Well, combining worlds have broken once, and sequels obviously they've broken numerous times.
Fucking no. So many times they've broken
10
sequels.
to lightning, and they're probably thinking of doing 10-3. You know, there's rumors that they're gonna do 10. 10
they should 10 needs to
was
die.
A standalone. They should have just died on this. I love 10.
Did you?
People don't like. I don't know if people don't like 10.
I started being really picky about my snobs.
Another thing, people that play 10 first love 10. People that haven't don't like it. People tell me that 9 is good. I don't like 9.
9 is great.
I don't like 9.
9 is so good.
I find it boring.
Okay.
It's boring.
It's such an interesting thing. It's
so
like
boring.
like the ones that you can have like in a row because like and everybody will pick a different Final Fantasy, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good thing. So like not everyone falls towards the same version. I don't know what it is about. What was it about 10 I didn't like? It just pissed me off, I think. I just was like, it doesn't feel like Final Fantasy. I have to go and play this water game.
People said Final Fantasy 9 was peak Final Fantasy. I'm like, this is fucking shit. I like the cat. I like Vivi. That was about it. Vivi's the only character I liked. The rest,
oh my god,
I didn't care for.
Really?
Hate Chris Garnet when you play her.
Did you finish
powers.
It? Did you finish it?
I was struggling to finish it. I was just like, let me just finish it so I can just talk about how trash this game. So you know, it's like that was like, I didn't like the girl, but you finish it though. I don't want to be that guy, so let me finish it. Then I saw the boss fight and everything. I was like, oh my god, is this it?
Oh really?
I was like, really? People said that this is the best Final
You
Fantasy.
didn't enjoy like Zidane figuring out what he is, and then
I mean, it was okay, but I think Vivi's
story was great.
I love Vivi, and I liked the Knight guy.
Steiner.
I like Steiner.
Surprised I remember their names. Fuck.
Garnet was quite interesting. Like, I was annoyed at her gameplay.
Right. I don't remember what her gameplay was like now.
I like the little girl, but she came in a bit too late.
The mage one.
Yeah, the little mage. Yeah, the strong one. She came a bit late into the story. But I liked her story, yeah. The characters are nice, I just didn't like the
overall story. Okay.
The main villain, didn't care.
What did you think of, I mean, we're going into a slight tangent here, but what do you think of 8?
8 has the worst gameplay.
Oh my god. That's
the best story, but the worst gameplay.
That's literally, I didn't get past the first area.
I passed the first training when you do the, before you become seed member.
Right.
I just couldn't do it.
It's so boring.
Bad. It's so bad.
Boring.
I had to individually collect these little absorb the monster,
the power. Yeah.
Mate,
get the spells off the. No.
I had to watch the story unfold because the story is actually really good.
Yeah, I've heard this. Yeah.
That's the only. I'd argue that if they had to make one, if they had to do one of the old Final Fantasies,
they should do 8.
Do 8.
Right.
Because the gameplay is almost unplayable.
It's so bad. I mean, maybe saying it's so bad is it didn't sit well with me. I found it very. I
can't think of a worse game for Final Fantasy. I can't think of.
I can't. I can't. I even like 10, but the gameplay was bad.
Gameplay was good in 10.
Wait, not 10. Sorry.
Was it one of lightning?
Which one's the one with the Tidus?
Tidus, yeah, it's 10.
That 10? Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of that. Oh, 11. I'm thinking of 11 too. 11. No, oh wait, 12. Wait, fuck. Which one was the one with lightning?
12 was good. 13.
13 is the one. Which one was 12? 12 is the one which is like an online game, but not an online game.
No, that's 11. 12 is actually quite good.
12 is the online one then. Which one's 12?
12 is the one on the PS2, the good one. It was actually quite well received.
Is that the one with Fran?
I can't remember.
Oh god. Anyway, tangent. Sorry. Final 16. It's great.
Yes,
we want to play it.
Watch the trailer. We'll play it, hopefully.
Okay, next topic because we are half an hour through. The Bayonetta 3 drama. Okay, so this is a bit some real life stuff rather than us just talk about some video games. But it's about video games, so it's fine. So if you don't know, recently there's been some like Bayonetta 3 controversy because let me try and get the names right, to be honest. Because the original voice actor for Bayonetta 3 has made a couple of videos online about how she is not getting paid proper living wage, she said, in relation to the work that she wants to put out. She is the original
Helena Taylor.
Okay, she's the original Bayonetta voice. You know, if anyone who's heard the play Bayonetta before, it's a pretty cool. She's done a really good job of like, you know, the voice acting and stuff. And just a quick summary, she basically has said that they were offering her $4,000 to basically for the entire game. I'm trying to like use the same word she used for the entire game to basically voice it, and she basically declined because it was an insulting offer to make for what is Bayonetta, and she was asking basically the public to boycott the game, essentially. And I've watched some videos about it, and one of the videos, they said that basically like that's what she said, but the developers are saying something different. They're saying that they actually offered her $4K, up to $4,000 US per session of 5 sessions. But what she apparently came back with was that she wanted 6 figures and royalties, essentially. And now it's basically he said, she said kind of thing. So they're saying one thing, and apparently there are some documents to back up what they've said. And she's saying that it's an outright lie. And all that. And she's basically just trying to get people to basically just like not buy the game. The new voice actress that they've chosen instead is Jennifer Hale. Thank you. And she is like an award-winning voice actress. She's done many voices. She's even been in Avatar. So she was the original Earthbender. You know when he goes back and sees his ancestors, there's an Earthbender woman that has like a white face.
Oh right.
Yeah.
It's not Kyoshi. No, it's not Kyoshi. So
it's not Kyoshi. Isn't it Kyoshi?
The Avatar.
Yeah.
White.
Yeah. So like she's been that voice as well. So she's done a lot of stuff, and they basically they're using her instead. And they did actually apparently go back to the original voice actor saying, you know, do you want to do a cameo for 4K? And that is what I think she's expressing to that. Oh, they want me to do a cameo for 4K, and that's just disgusting or whatever. But not necessarily sharing that this other stuff transpired. It's an interesting little like debate thing. Like I obviously don't know what really happened. I am sort of siding towards the developers a bit more, only because based on what I've watched, it feels a little bit disingenuous what she's doing, because she's comparing herself to like, she does compare herself to like, you know, nurses and stuff who have to like feed their children. Was it in what are they called again? The food banks and stuff.
Because she's from the UK, so food
banks. Yeah. So you know, there's some very much you're saying, but she is being offered $4,000 to do like it's not comparable, like at all in my head. I don't think it's comparable.
I don't know how much work she does, but
I mean, if you're being offered $4,000 to basically for a day's work, over
it depends on how.
You see what I'm saying? Like the amount of money you're getting per hour far. I mean, I don't think if we just say like in the grand scheme of things, let's say she does 5 days in a month, let's say, right? Those 5 days that she would have done in that month, that would have given her, if we're assuming where she's getting what the developers have suggested, right? Which is the $4,000. Yeah, maybe she deserves more money. But that's not the only job she's doing. We don't know that. Yeah. But if she's there sitting there going, I don't want to do anything but be a Bayonetta voice, that's not.
I'm sure that's not the case. But
that's not the case.
In terms of gigs and everything.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's hard to get gigs and stuff. Yeah. But I don't think it's fair to compare yourself with nurses who have to go to food banks and feed their children. That is not.
I mean, I don't really know what it is. How maybe she thought that she was being low. Well, I mean, she definitely did think she was being
lowball.
Given a lowball offer. So maybe. Because you know when you hear the issues of voice actors, especially with video games in the past, and how they're not really respected or paid well, they'd rather pay actual, not actual actors, not fair. It's like a live action actor to become a voice actor, rather than actually paid fully trained voice actors, because it's different. Yeah.
No, I agree that there is some. But I just don't think that what she's doing isn't even. It's like a fair reaction to basically being given that. If we're saying that she was getting given 5 sessions, 4K each, and she wanted more money, fine. Yeah. But she didn't want that, but now she's saying don't buy this game because they didn't give me more money, because
that was a bit of a
you see what it's not. I don't feel like
they could have said no, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it'd be like I deserve more money.
Yeah, that's it.
And
to boycott it because they wouldn't pay you. I mean,
it seems no, she's not. If she doesn't want to buy it, let her not buy it. But she's telling open public not to buy it because of something that might not necessarily be true.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, it's very hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that. Nurses going on strike, and they'll say, "Well, we're going on strike because we need these people to pay us what we deserve, a living wage." I guess that's her argument.
Yeah, but she's getting a living. Isn't that a living wage? Okay, maybe this is
contest of voice actors, I don't know.
Maybe
maybe not. I'm just trying to find it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sense of.
I know. I'm not saying. I'm not saying like, hey, shut up and take your $4,000. I'm not saying that. And I agree, but I'm not saying that. And I agree that people of that, they're very talented and they bring those characters to life. And yeah, they should probably get paid more. But I just don't think that what you're doing now is going to be able to boycott a game, which will affect more people than it will help, basically. It's not going to help anything, really, to be honest. It just means less that Bayonetta 4 isn't going to come out if that game doesn't get paid. And then your voice, because you basically said in the video, I am the voice of Bayonetta. Right? She said that.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying, kill this franchise because they won't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't.
It's weird.
It doesn't match up. Like, make your statement and say, we deserve more money. Don't compare yourself to nurses.
Maybe it was heat of the moment kind of thing.
Maybe she was pissed.
Garner some fanfare, and it kind of indirectly blew up in, a person who got a lot of the blowback was Jennifer Hale.
Yeah.
The whole...
Yeah.
But I don't think she meant to.
I wouldn't.
Helena Taylor meant to send hate more. What's she got to do with it anyway, man? She's just trying to do her job. She has nothing to do with... It's not like, she got her fired or something. She didn't. Innocently, they called her, would you like to become a... Do you want to play Bayonetta? Oh my god, wow, Bayonetta, one of the biggest,
And to be fair, they probably did pay her more. But I think what I think about this thing as well is that they probably paid her more because she's more established, right? And she has like her agents probably like, no, we're not going to do any less than that. Yeah. But the developers, apparently, from what is being said, developers wanted the original voice actor. They wanted her.
Yeah.
So in my head, it's not even a case of like, okay, well, to be honest, like maybe they should have paid her more and kept her. But based on what they're saying is that she asked for 6 figures. Did they try and do more money? I don't know. I mean, I'd love to get 6 figures for being a voice actor. But maybe just like, but also the other thing she asked for was royalties. And that I completely disagree with, personally. Only because I feel like even though her voice helps the production, it is not the production. It can be done without her voice. That's the bit that I'm like, you don't really deserve royalties for something that wasn't your idea. It's not your product. You're just the voice. And yes, you bring the character, you make the character, you've done a good job with the voice. You make the character more like the character. But I do wonder how many people would play the game and notice that the voice had changed and been like, this is, I'm not buying, I'm going to return this game. That wouldn't have happened. Like the example you made with The Witcher, right? I completely agree in that one. The royalties there deserve because it's their stories. The product doesn't exist without their stories. But as a voice actor, I think it's a bit cheeky. Not because voice actors are bad, not because they don't deserve money. I just think it's cheeky to be like, pay me royalties for my voice.
Depends on what you can negotiate. Because if an actor was to come in, let's say a very famous actor, I don't know, like The Rock was to come in and become a voice actor, then that sort of
maybe that's
discussion
fair.
Will be different. He would probably say, voice actors. Oh, why? Because The Rock's in it. But I guess maybe she's not as established.
Maybe because she's not as
voice actors in general aren't that established. Like, no one really thinks, oh my god, like, this voice actor's going to be in the game. But would think, oh my god, this actor's going to be in the game. See the difference there?
Yeah, that is true.
So the actors may be able to command the royalty because they'll be generating X amount of revenue because they're
actually that's a very better way of putting it. Actually, the amount of revenue that contribution generates.
Yeah, probably Helen Taylor. As good as she might not be able to generate that.
Yeah, and maybe that's partially that's a better way of explaining that. Actually, I prefer that. That's more logical actually than what I said. I think.
Yeah, I mean, just depends what you can negotiate. Because as you said before, Jennifer Hill probably can command more just because it's Jennifer Hill.
Yeah.
Or who's the guy that usually does the Joker? He was in Star Wars.
I remember his name. I know who you mean.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's been in so many, so he'll be able to command a lot more.
Yeah.
Lamar.
And actors do actually tend to. I don't know if it's common for actors to demand royalties for.
I don't
know. Maybe it depends, because I guess with the big actors, they're not even going to get involved unless they get paid quite a lot, right? Yeah. And if it's sort of like, I guess you do, because for example, like how certain actors have remade what the character means. Like for example, Robert Downey Jr. Remade what it meant to be Iron Man, and he didn't get roles because he's a big movie star anyway. He doesn't need that shit. Yeah. But like that kind of rendition, kind of thing, like people now think, oh, MCU Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. There's a link there, but we don't link her to Bayonetta
because you don't see them.
You don't see them. Yeah,
you just hear them.
So it's very different.
You lose that immersion a little bit.
Although with like what's it called? That D&D show that came out on Amazon Prime a little while ago. Oh crap! I'm gonna quickly Google
D&D,
it. D&D series. Did you ever watch it? Maybe you didn't watch it.
No, I don't think so.
It was Vox Machina.
No, I haven't.
Okay, Vox Machina is a D&D show on Amazon Prime, and the voice actors in it are part of a live action D&D role playing TV show or YouTube show, and they actually I actually link a lot of their voices to the actual characters in the D&D show because I have been like exposed to it. Yeah. The stuff outside of it. Like this is the character and they're pretending to be these characters, and here they are being animated. Mm-hmm. And the voices their voices are basically what's basically shown in the TV show. And there's like a connection there. Yeah. And then they could probably be like, well, I am that character. Yeah. But they also created those characters for the D&D thing that they do. So it's actually like it's their creations rather than for her. It's not her creation. Yeah. She wouldn't be asking for royalties. Bayonetta wasn't huge.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's kind of like a circular thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But I wouldn't say that Bayonetta is huge because of her voice. It's huge because the game is good.
Because the game is good, not because she voiced the character.
Yes.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. So it's an interesting little debate and topic. You guys, what do you guys think? Do you think we're talking shit? I mean, to be fair, we have both sides of the coin here, but we do know that not all our listeners watch our entire videos. I'm gonna get some hate mail, for some people going like, oh, this guy doesn't think. Literally, they're going to take this 5-second clip from this, and be like, oh, this guy doesn't think voice actors should be paid enough. I didn't say that. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I just think
if they want to believe that's the
well, I guess it's just views are views, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't care. But
we don't see the dislike number anymore.
Take away, we know what we put ourselves into. So,
but yeah, that's an interesting thing that's going on at the moment in the gaming sphere. Okay, more like digital stuff. Let's talk about some new animes that have come out recently.
Which one do you want to do?
So first off, let's go with Chainsaw Man.
Oh, the good one, yes.
Yeah. Oh, the one. I'm like, what?
I mean, we'll get into that.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I personally haven't actually started watching it yet, but I have read like the first huge arc. Like I know what happens in the story, which is one of the reasons why I haven't really been bothered about watching it much because I know what happens. But as someone who has watched it, but you haven't read it, you've only watched it. What are your thoughts? Because I know it's mental. Like the show is just fucking mental.
I mean, the first episode was very, very, very good.
Yeah. Okay.
One of my favorite. Yeah, one of my favorites this year. Just gets you right into it. You're invested. You've got the characters you're kind of rooting for in a sense. The guy's been dealt a bad hand. He's just trying to go through life, and then the whole thing happens in the little warehouse. And that
yeah.
It's kind of giving me Attack on Titan vibes. We didn't really expect it. Then it kind of continues, and you kind of link to the characters. The other thing I said that it had a very like action-packed first episode where just a lot of things are thrown. Not a lot of things are thrown at, but a lot of stuff happens to the character that kind of changes him. Going forward. Then the second episode is kind of like
are they just introducing characters now?
Yeah, just introducing characters. Then I kind of disliked him a little bit.
Who, the main character?
Yeah,
he's not very likable.
Yeah, I was like, this guy's a bit, but it makes sense.
But he's like funny. It's funny though. But yeah, it does make sense.
Because of the way he lived. spoilers, but lost his father very early on in his life. And then his dad just kind of, even though I think his dad's a fucking dickhead, but he left all his dad, basically his dad killed himself in it, left all his debt on him. So he killed himself because of his debt, left all the debt on his son. So like the sins of the father kind of thing. So throughout his whole entire childhood life, he's just been doing jobs. He's been taking off parts of himself to pay off a debt that just keeps on increasing. Because it increases when early on it was like this amount and then just substantiate. So I'm guessing it's like interest. Yeah. Loan sharks coming at him. People basically call him like he's basically like a dog, because he's just doing these errands and stuff. So based on that context, I understand why he is the way he is, because it's like basically just falling in love with some random girl. Yeah, he's proper. Like all he wants to do is have sex and look. You know what I mean? I literally
almost wrote a tweet on Twitter about like how Denji, isn't it? Yeah, Denji is like the biggest simp I've ever. He's a simp. He simps over this girl. Even though I don't even think simp's a real thing, but like, it's just the best way to like describe his character and his boss. Yeah. The woman that manages him.
But it makes sense why he's like this, because he was never treated with any sort of love or respect throughout his entire life. Maybe up until his dad died for his entire life. Yeah. The only friend he had was his pet.
Pet demon chainsaw thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes sense why he's like that, but still I was like, oh my god, this guy's such a dick.
Dude, it gets I wanna wait till the first season is over, and I'm curious to know when his first season ends, and we're gonna talk about it again. Because some wacky stuff happens in this show. Like, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but like, I remember telling Demi about it when I was reading. I was like, this thing is freaking mental. Like, it's huh?
Is it finished?
No.
Oh, right.
It's still going, but it's kind of taking a weird turn at the moment. Almost feels like, basically, he's still in the current chapter. I'm not gonna say much, but he's still in it, but he doesn't seem to be the main focus. Okay. So it's almost like they're doing like a little bit of a pivot, like almost like his story's over. And he's now just become a side character. It's what it seems like at the moment. It's kind of like what happened to Boruto and fucking Naruto and stuff, but nowhere near that bad. But yeah, so we'll come back to that one. So that's that. Also, Bleach is now on Disney Plus for some reason, which is amusing. I saw the ad. I was like, Bleach is on Disney Plus. Okay.
Very, very random.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad move. To be honest,
it's interesting that they're pivoting toward.
I'm all for it. To be honest, I'm all for if they get the good stuff.
It saves me money. To be honest,
yeah,
a lot of good stuff on Disney. So
yeah,
use Crunchyroll.
You don't pay for it anyway.
They don't know that one.
They don't know who's using them.
But yeah, the Funimation, they've got their own, and I wish they're all in one place. I could just
Funimation. I remember logging into Funimation, but I tried trial, and then I couldn't find any dubbed versions of sub versions of what's that superhero thing called again? Shit. My Hero, and I immediately deleted the app.
Isn't My Hero on Crunchyroll now?
It is. But on Funimation, there wasn't a sub version. Oh yeah, there was only a dub version. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" No, I deleted that thing straight away. I was like, "No, I ain't seen through this dub shit." Nah,
the dub is alright.
I ain't seen. Nah. I went about that life. Nah, because the I won't get into this, but like the jokes don't land the same way. So
depends. Sometimes I just don't like Japanese sub. Depends on what I'm watching. Black Lagoon, I can only watch that on dub because it just sounds better in dub for me.
I mean, they are American too, I suppose.
It depends on the setting. If it's an American setting, I want to hear it.
Right, okay. Because they even give her a bad, like... No, that's on the Japanese version. They give her like a bad English accent. Because that's the other thing you don't get in Black Lagoon, because they're Japanese. Most of them are Japanese on it. Not all of them, but like two of the main characters are Japanese. And they speak Japanese to each other. But when the girl speaks English to the English people, she speaks really badly.
Oh, right. Okay.
In some cases, like she'll say some stuff and they're like, oh, and then she's not really like...
Yeah, I remember that was in the dub as well. They made that. There was a Chinese lady there and she actually had really bad English.
Yeah. You don't get that in the original. But anyway.
Yeah, it depends. But,
Bleach.
Bleach was... It was interesting to have it back. It was like a nostalgia thing. Because I've read it, I know how...
It ends.
I know how it ends. So I was a bit...
You know how it that's another point of reasons again why I haven't bothered watching it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But just seeing the first couple of episodes, you're like,
The animation's good though, yeah?
Yeah. they didn't miss. They didn't miss. So it's kind of making me want to watch it and just see how it goes. Maybe they'll change some things, and because they'll add new things in. And
yeah, if they fix the story, I don't think they will. But because it needs to be fixed, man, it just doesn't work. Like what Tega was telling me before, like, oh yeah, but if you read this novel, it explains what the god. I don't want to read the. I'm reading the comic. Why don't I go read some book to find out why the story is rubbish? Like, he's like, oh yeah, it explains all what that god is and everything. I'm like, no. You can't write a bad story and then go write a book to fix your mistakes and tell people go read the book. No.
So, that's what retcons are for, man.
No. So there are a couple of things that if they rectify, I'll probably like. I might give it a watch anyway. But one, fix that nonsense about how there's a blacksmith that makes this. So that's not what you said in chapter 4, whatever the fuck. Go reread your own comic book and tell me that makes any sense. That's one. Two. Explain this whole God mode thing, because none of us really understand what's going on with this like God and everything else. Because this God thing is really powerful. We see it once, doesn't do anything, and then the bad guy absorbs it. I mean, I'm sorry, this might be a bit spoiler, but the comic's been out for the years, so whatever. 3, how does no one know these Quincy's exist in the same place? They've just been there for like time, building an army. No one knows that they're there.
Maybe they explain it in this anime.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like there's so many plot holes. It's very very close to Black Clover plot holes, and Black Clover plot holes are bad.
We still reading them, man.
Because it's just I'm thinking about every time I think it's going to end, it keeps going. I'm like, why is this thing still going?
What's the thing I dropped? I was just tired of it. I can't remember. Shield Hero. I just dropped.
I dropped Shield Hero as well. It wasn't going anywhere.
Dr. Stone dropped. Boring.
Fairy
Tale dropped, and I was right at the end. I can't be bothered. I still dropped it. I didn't finish. I don't even know what happens at the end. I was like 10 chapters or so. I was like, fuck it. I'm tired. Yeah. It doesn't deserve me to finish. It doesn't deserve
but then you finished Bleach though, because it was like years of reading.
Bleach is like, we read 500 chapters, bro. I'm not gonna give up on the last day. No.
How bad it is.
You remember what was worse when Shonen Jump announced that Bleach is ended in 5 chapters, and all of us were like, how?
That's true. That's true. We're like, how are they gonna finish it in 5 chapters?
In 5 chapters. I was like.
Maybe is that why the story is really bad? Maybe because they had to finish it in 5 chapters.
Bro, the same thing happened with. But I kind of had the feeling it was coming to end. The same thing happened with Tokyo Revengers, ending in 5 chapters. Oh, like you got a lot of explaining to do. The amount of exposition and they're running through it, bro. It's like you know the little the skit with the guy that says he can speed read, and it's like that's literally they're just speeding through.
Jesus
all
Christ.
These little expeditions, and you're just like, wow. Something they could have kind of built over to. They're just
everything just gone.
And the last arc.
I feel bad for that kind of thing, because obviously, like, it happened with a couple of the stuff I've read, where I actually was reading something, and at first I didn't really get a good feeling of it. It started getting good, and then suddenly it just completely just like flips, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? And then it ends, and I'm like, oh, you guys got cancelled then, because like literally you're like reading it and you're like, okay, it's finished. Like they literally they give you like the thing that's like a big deal, and you're like, oh, okay, we're gonna, and then within the next 2 pages it's come to a head, and you're like, I see. That was I guess you got cancelled then, I suppose, because so it would explain a little bit why Bleach sort of went really.
Yeah, I mean,
even before the 5 chapters thing, I was like, what's going on?
He was fed up anyway.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on? It's just hype. Like all these started bringing out people's bankais. I'm like, I don't even know how this bankai works. What's this thing doing? I'm not really sure. Bankai used to be so simple before. My sword gets big, and if it cuts you, it puts poison inside you, and that was it. Or like, I move really fast, or like I have little tiny shards.
Everyone was just getting bankai. They kind of lost its appeal.
Yeah, it really did. So Bleach 1,000 Year War is there. It's on Disney Plus. If you have Disney Plus, you can watch it on Disney Plus. Yes. I don't know if it's on Crunchyroll.
No.
Okay.
They even took out the Bleach old
The old
Original
stuff.
VHS,
Wow.
Yeah, so
maybe,
I think it's gonna go to Disney.
maybe Disney's making the play. Okay. Last topic of the day. Blue Lock. Blue Lock. So, Blue Lock currently has 3 episodes. I haven't seen the third one yet.
I watched it yesterday.
Did you? Okay. And basically, it's a manga that's existed for a little while, but as always happens, there's mangas out and then an anime might come out with it eventually. And I started watching it beginning of the week just because I was like, it gives me like Haikyuu vibes. You ever watch Haikyuu?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, I love Haikyuu. Haikyuu's great. I'm not into football personally, but there are some sports animes that are worth watching. They're not all amazing. Like Kuroko no Basket, it had its time. Like I enjoyed watching it, even though it's a bit silly, but I do enjoy watching it. It did get out of hand, but I did enjoy it. Haikyuu, loved Haikyuu. I think Haikyuu is just like it's really, really good. Never got into Prince of Tennis. I think I started liking it, and then it also went a bit out of hand as well.
Slam Dunk was quite good, but I've never read it.
Yeah, and then so I thought, this might be another. Yeah, I love Slam Dunk.
Yeah.
Okay, this might be another like decent sports anime to get into.
Yeah, I know football guys that like it. I
Did you not like it?
I don't like the philosophy behind it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I'm kind of changing my. It's growing on me, and I explained I posted it before on Instagram. So when I watched the first episode, and I was seeing a philosophy of football is basically a collective sport. And then you're having this guy saying he wants to create.
Bullshit.
The guy saying this bullshit is all basically because I'm like, no, this is like, it's not a matter of opinion. This is objectively wrong. if a man, seriously, if the top managers in the world or people thought like this, they would get fucking banged at the top level. Like it's wrong. It is a system. Okay, I'm going into it, but into the weeds. It's gone past the systems play. It's more like there's opposition. Opposition will leave amounts of spaces and players will have to capitalize on that space to score goals. But the way to do that is through a system per se. You go here, you go here, you go here, but everyone plays as a collective. You just have one guy fucking striker, he's thinking, all you gotta do is feed me and I'm gonna score, barring exceptional circumstances.
Okay, wait, why don't you finish first?
It's just it's not gonna work. You're gonna get banged every time, bro. That is just.
So I agree with you, but the way I feel like this thing kind of works a bit better is because they're not trying to make. Because those quotes that they said in the show, those are real quotes.
Yeah.
They're not fake quotes. So it's not a case of like, I don't think it's a case of like, the way to win football is to get like a striker who just like doesn't care about anything but scoring goals. But they're just trying to make, the philosophy is probably wrong. Like, it's not the reason why, the way they were just diss Japanese World Cup players, I was just like, these people are just going down on it. It's your country, bro. Just say what you want. Yeah. Like we say, the reason we haven't won a World Cup is because we don't have like strikers that just out for themselves or whatever, or anything like that. Like I understand, like obviously the philosophy isn't right, but the concept of it is interesting because it's saying basically like we need egotistical players to basically like value almost like they see their skill so highly more than the team. Like for example, you're saying that the exception. What they're trying to do, they're trying to create the exception.
Yeah.
So Ronaldo being like the person that you pass him the ball and he's probably going to score kind of thing, right? They're trying to create that. They're not trying to create like a good striker. They're trying to create an exceptional striker, which you can't do, but it's anime, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So which is why I thought it was kind of interesting because I was like, okay, and it's feeding into it gave me like a little bit of like Hunter x Hunter vibes when they're in that room.
Yeah, they were all playing. Yeah, that was good. And then I liked the second. So I was gonna say with the first episode, I was like, this is bullshit. Second episode, I was like, I can see that he's almost contradicting himself with certain things that he does when they had the game where they all have to start from zero, basically. Mm. And basically, that's a good point. It's like football basically started from people running around. Yeah. And then they kind of have to learn.
They learn the tactics
how to play as a team. But for them to do what they had to do, they had to play as a collective. So I can see that they kind of contradicting themselves. Like,
it might grow into like because it is a team sport at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like one person can't be there and just like score the goal. But it's just the idea that the striker needs to be able to score the goal when it counts, kind of thing. Even though it's not necessarily like what I don't watch football. I don't like football, but like it's entertaining to watch as just like as a fictional concept. And the idea, because one thing I think I'd like about it is because I thought it would just be a football anime, and I was like, I don't really like football, so I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this really. But it's basically like it's something else using football as a theme.
Yeah.
You know, like you almost don't even want to call it a football like anime. I mean, to be honest, I think episode 3 probably has actual football matches in it.
Yeah.
But it's not about team versus team. It's just about like a psychological experiment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And has
it.
It's basically like Squid Game almost without like.
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah, it's just like, but they put certain elements in it where they're almost trying to say that he was wrong in doing so. Like, you know, in it's the first episode. He's supposed to. He's playing on his 1-1.
Yeah.
He sees the guy next to him and he's like, "Oh, let me pass it to him so he can score." And then the guy misses.
Yeah.
But that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because you've just you significantly increased the chances of him scoring. Like they call it XG. Like what the chances from you scoring if they're in every position on the pitch. That was like a very high XG shot. You should do that. That's the correct play.
Yeah.
But almost like they're trying to say, "Oh, he's not good. He did that because he didn't believe in his skills because he's not good enough."
Well, no, I don't know if it's saying that. I think it's just basically saying that he basically, well, yeah, I mean, where I kind of see it is like he's basically thinking to himself like, what would have happened if I didn't pass? Rather than like, because he knew it was the right thing to do anyway, and it just happened that the guy missed. But because he didn't score in his head, and because he really wanted to like win, he was like, what if I just took the shot myself? Would I have scored?
And if you missed, then
that's the thing. If you could have missed as well.
So to do it in real life, yeah. You get banged, bro. Like pass the ball sideways so you can score. If Ronaldo was like, "Oh yeah, I'm 1-on-1 with the keeper," the guy's literally the last play of the game. I beg you, please, just pass that fucking ball.
Everyone would be like, "Why the fuck did you not pass?"
We don't care if you're Ronaldo. You're a fucking idiot. But pass the ball. Like, that's what I'm saying. So it's like the whole philosophy where they're like,
this is why you hated the first.
Yeah, that's why I hated it. I'm like, bro, this is like almost anti what I believe football should be about. So that's how I thought, this is kind of good. But I've read the second and third episodes and like, there's a bit of nuance. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, they can't all be strikers. I know the third episode is about them actually playing the match, but they're all strikers. So in my head, I'm thinking like, who's going to be the goalie then? But like, who's gonna, like, in my head, it's just like, I wonder how they're gonna work this thing out, because it's gonna be probably a case where they're probably gonna have to, like, I don't know, I haven't watched it yet. Are they gonna have to come to an agreement between themselves who's gonna be a goalie, or is there actually a goalie? I don't know. Yeah. I'll find out when I watch it. But I kind of get it, because they're not trying to make a team, they're trying to make a striker.
Yeah, even though I think it's extremely unethical.
It doesn't make any sense. It won't actually ever work.
It's anime, so
it's anime, isn't it? It's just an entertaining spin.
Like, really, I'm just, even in the context, because they're trying to put it together with real life, you're literally putting 300 kids together.
So that they can't go home.
Yeah, they can't go home, right? They said that the parents have consent. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
That's one. And two, if they get eliminated from it, they can never play for the national team again.
Yeah.
300 Japanese students, potential, the 300 best strikers.
Yeah.
Best young strikers. None of them can play again, but one.
I mean, as an idea, it doesn't make any. It doesn't work.
It's so fucking insane.
But that's why. But I think they need to put that in the story though, because people aren't dying, but they are. You see what I'm saying? It's like your dreams are just.
Yeah.
That's it. You've been you all your life you've been training for this moment, right? And then that's why they need to like not lose. It need that element, because they're not going to kill anyone, because that's not the kind of show it is. But it's like we need an element of like death that isn't actually death. And even the first episode, is it the first episode where he kicks the ball in the that guy's face, and I was like, oh shit.
I was surprised. Oh shit.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And I was like, let's watch episode 2 then. Let's go. Yeah. Like, I think it's quite clever because it's of what they're doing. It might not last. It may end up getting a bit silly, like a lot of sports animes that I have watched kind of get, where it becomes like, because there's an element of like, obviously it's all realistic, it's all real, right? But there's an element of like, not supernatural, but like the mind stuff going on. So it's just like basically ego, I think, that they're sort of saying is a monster. But, and I'm hoping they don't go too far out. Like Kuroko no Basket, like, just was on the cusp of silly. You know, like, you know, when, like, for example, everything they do there is technically possible, but they just push the limit of it. Yeah. Like the guy who can basically just score 3-pointers from fucking anywhere, where he's just like, just don't let him get the ball, because if he gets the ball and he shoots it, he's going to get it in. And it's like, yeah, okay, that is possible, but super unlikely that a team, like, if that person existed in real life, he would just be
Or Steph Curry.
Oh, is he? So don't think from anywhere on the court. This guy literally, one of the episodes that guy was, he was the green hair, has glasses. They passed the ball back to him from his side of the court. And he got it in. You're like, how do you even play against this? You know? And then I said, no, I lied. There's one guy in Kuroko no Basket, which is silly. He's the guy that crosses. He's the king, the one that crosses you up, and then you always fall over. And you're like, oh come on, man, come on! Like he just goes boom, and the entire team just collapses.
I mean, it's animated, man.
How
do you not Ipo, my guys? The current episode.
How do you know Ipo? Of course.
The man who comes into the boxing ring with like a tail, and it's like he's fucking Son Goku, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And then my guy's running around hitting the guy. He's there.
I'm not even up to date on them.
Man's like Rock Lee. He's hitting them here, there, everywhere.
When it's still like okay, like it's not real. This is impossible, really. Geez. But there's a point where it's like, okay, this is one man's skill that is just overwhelming you versus like I'm crossing you up and you all six of you collapse. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I love it as it doesn't get to that point. Like I have seen some. Like I think I've seen some comic strips where I've seen people's like they do a lot of like fiery eye stuff and whatever, and obviously they're saying, okay, this guy probably high muscular leg stuff, so he kicks the ball really hard, or you know, I don't know. But as long as they don't do anything like Beybladey, I don't want to see no fucking fire balls. Like someone kicks one, there's fire on it, and the net's on fire and shit. Like as long as they don't go too far with it, I think it would be quite enjoyable. Yeah. So we'll just see what they do. That is everything for that. We've gone through like quite a lot of things actually in like an hour and 10 minutes, so that's not bad.